what we would call hardening. Hardening is, I guess, securing a host more than the default, okay? And more things are really hardened already, okay? So if you have an iPhone, it's pretty much already hardened because they limit what you can do, right? You can only download and install certain applications. OS updates are pretty much required, if you at least patch them. But anyway, these more locked down systems are pretty much hardened already. But what the basic steps are is you need to make sure you patch all vulnerabilities. We'll put known. So you need to apply your patches, vulnerabilities. So when Microsoft posts a patch for something, you better be applying it. Okay? A lot of corporations will still, a patch comes out and it might break an application they have. And so they'll want to test them, and sometimes they'll want to wait, but you cannot wait. So you got to start testing quick and making sure everything's okay. So you got to patch all your known vulnerabilities. You wrote your programs right to begin with, they wouldn't break. All right, the next thing is you want to have good backup and recovery. And I will talk about that more in a minute. On the server side, you want to have the fewest running applications that you can. Minimize. Okay. So I want to have as few applications running as I can. In my old days, like in the old days, we used to have pizza boxes. So I would actually have a separate unit, a separate set of hardware for each application I wanted to run. So I drew my little web server. Where's my DMZ? So over here I drew a web server and an email server. So in my day, we would have a completely separate box for web and a completely separate one for email. The idea is if an application is compromised, then the server is gone too. So they are owned, okay? So if I run email, web, whatever other VPN, who knows whatever else, on the same computer, and someone hacks the web application, then they've got my email and every other computer. And so we separate them out. Nowadays, so pizza box was the old days. That's why Dr. Haynes is getting gray hair, because he ran pizza boxes. Now we use I just have to look over the note here. It was a virtual. Now we use virtual machines, okay? So you're going to run, this is what a big security advantage of virtual machines is. I might use the same hardware, but I'm going to have multiple. It's virtual machines. So really my email and my web are running on a separate server in the virtual sense, even though it might be the same hardware. So if someone takes out my web virtual machine, then I just have to redo the web virtual machine. My email is still safe. So it's just the same as if they were separated. The really cool thing about a virtual machine is the snapshot idea. And so I can have it take periodic snapshots, and it's like a backup copy. So if I get hacked and I know when the hack happened, I just go back to my snapshot from before the hack, and I can restore my web to what it was. Yeah, this is like a sandbox. Their sandbox. I'm not getting into hypervisor and everything else. This isn't a virtualization class. So this is why we use virtual machines. Now, on the user, the client side, it's really the same thing. A lot of times people have started actually virtualizing their clients, which is kind of cool because that means on the actual computer they're running is not where the stuff is. They're actually getting the stuff from the computer. But anyway, clients, let's just note here, we need a virus protection. What else is important still? Virus. You need a firewall. And then I need limitations on permissions. So I'm not going to allow people to just install stuff. Okay, and especially not giving my regular users administrative access, because that's just an open door to them getting hacked. I mean, it's bad enough that, you know, like I said, this person can access some nasty website and get owned, and then, I mean, it's just bad enough. If I give them administrative access, they might download some stupid program and get owned that way. There's just that many more ways to get hacked. So then client P side, yeah. We'll just be nice here. The users might not be security savvy. Not that we're that great, but we want to kind of shut it down for our users. So that's basically the idea of hardening. So a hardened client just means you're hopefully not going to get hit by a virus. You're not going to install a firewall or a Trojan horse, and then even if you do get hacked, the firewall on the computer is going to prevent either outgoing or incoming connections. That's fun, hardening.